Hey guys. Okay, so time for my last Grace and Frankie character video where the kids are concerned. And this one is of course going to cover Mallory Hanson, Grace and Robert's youngest daughter, who is played by Brooklyn Decker. And yeah, there's going to be spoilers. So I've never really made it a secret that I was doing these kids in order of favorite to least favorite, with Mallory easily coming in fourth place. Again, I did debate it, but it was really no contest the more I thought about it, because, like, Mallory is just very, in my opinion, poorly characterized. She has a lot of screen time. I would say she's right up there with Brianna in the amount of storyline she gets, at least that's how it feels. But it's not used very well because, in my opinion, she's just, I don't know a lot about her. She's pretty bland, and I don't put any of this on the actress. I think Brooklyn Decker did an amazing job, but I just think the writers just didn't put a lot of effort into her character. A lot of the times she felt like a bit of a prop for Brianna. Yeah. But let's get into it. Personality. Okay, yeah, problem right away. Personality for Mallory. She's nice. She's nice. She has competitive streak with her sister, and she can get mad, but like mostly that's at her sister. I think she, but like again, she's the one getting upset with people. But like I feel like most of her not nice side comes out with Mallory more than anything else. And I only say not nice side because she's so heavily carried. Like, she's constantly being referred to as Grace's nice daughter. Yeah. What else? Okay, she's a good worker. She's she obviously put in a lot of effort at, when she was working for Brianna, but she's not, like, she apparently didn't have enough experience or whatever to be a boss, but that doesn't mean she was not a good worker. She just wasn't ready for that sort of position yet, which, again, kind of similar with Brianna if you think about it. And yeah, she's a good mom from what we see. Seems good for the most part. Okay, so yeah, that's what I mean by I think she's poorly characterized. Right there. That's all I have for her personality, and she has so much screen time, and it's weird. Okay, on to relationships. Okay, so I said it in the Coyote video, and I'll say it here. I really wish they kept the relationship between Mallory and Coyote. I know it was kind of a taboo thing, but oh man, was it interesting. I mean, come on. There was potential there. I was interested in it. I was invested, but they didn't because, again, I get it, but oh, I'm still mad about it because, again, it made Mallory interesting. So apart from that, we have Mallory's husband for the first 3 seasons anyway, Mitch, who, yeah, we didn't see that much of, especially as the series went on, even before they really got a divorce. I felt like we kind of saw less and less of him, and even when we did see him, he was just kind of there. Like, they were fighting, but we didn't really either see a lot of the good times or a lot of the fighting. Like, most of the time when we saw Mitch, it was in a group setting, I think. Like, I can think of, like, 1 or 2 times where it was just him and Mal, but, like, it was weird. And then they were fighting, but it was more, like, we saw a lot of that through Mallory talking about it versus actually seeing it happen. Again, we saw some of it, but not enough to really, because, like, we didn't have a foundation for their relationship really at all. They were just kind of married, and then they, we saw a few scenes of them not getting along or whatever, and then they were divorced. It was a very low emotion for me because I didn't really care about either of them, especially Mitch, because I didn't know him. Yeah, so that was their relationship. And Mallory she went on a couple dates besides that, but I think the biggest relationship she had, which was not a big relationship, was with this man, the principal of the school where her kids went to. Their relationship consisted of the episode where they met and, like, decided to go out, I guess. And you know what? I'm questioning, did we see him again after that? Or did we not? Like, before, there was the episode of season 6 where he gets really mad and, like, gets really mad in a restaurant and they break up. Let's put it that way. Let's just stick to that. But I'm trying to think if we saw him again before that, and I don't think we did. Or if we did, like, it was like one episode. Because in the last episode they were together, it was like, you know, their relationship was getting good. They were being open and honest. And then, yeah, the anger happened and that was it. We did see him later, but not as, like, they were broken up. There was no question of them getting back together. We saw him later trying to get back with Mallory and doing conflict resolution for her and Brianna, which was ridiculous that he would be doing that at all, because, I mean, isn't there kind of like some sort of rule about, you know, you can't, like, wouldn't you have to be objective in that situation? And obviously he was not going to be objective. I don't know how these things work, I'm just guessing. But I feel like there would have been some sort of, like, conflict of interest there. Anyways, that was it for Mal's major relationships. Romantic ones, I mean. Mal did have 4 kids, Macklin, Madison, and the twins. If you look up online, it does not say their names. I cannot find their names. It says the twins. In the show, I believe it named one Maisie one time, but I don't think it named the other one. We know that the other one is a boy, but I don't think it ever names that kid. Maybe it says somewhere online, or maybe I missed it, but if I did, then it was very minor, because her having Macklin and Madison was... They had some scenes in the first 2 seasons. Not a lot of stories, but, you know, it worked. Like, they showed up sometimes. We heard, like, Mal mentioned them. It worked. They fit. But then her having the twins, I mean, was really pointless. Like, if you wanted her to have one more baby, fine, whatever. But why twins? Like, what was the point of the twins? What was the point of Mal having 4 kids? But, like, what did it add? Because later, we never even really saw them. Like, we saw them a couple times, and Mal mentioned them a couple times, but mostly, especially, again, the later the series went, the less we heard about the kids. And it was like, okay, guys, well, okay, sure, guess, whatever. But from what we did see, for the most part, Mal did seem to be a good mom. She, you know, obviously loved her kids. It was good. And so now some familiar relationships. I'll save Brianna for last because that's the big one for Mal, I think. But so Mal's always had a good relationship with Robert. Seems like she's had a good relationship with him. Always, never seemed very complicated. She has a good relationship with Saul as well, from what we see. I don't think they have any big moments together, as far as I can think, but they do seem good relationship. As for Grace, she's got a better relationship with her mom. Like, Mal has a better relationship with Grace than Brianna does, I would say. Like, at least in the sense that I don't know if it's better. Like, there was sort of some implications right near the beginning of the series about, you know, Mal being the one who was there for Grace, and Grace being the one Mal would turn to, or Mal being the one Grace would turn to, sorry, I meant, in a situation where she needed something versus Brianna. That sort of faded off, but, you know, it did kind of feel like, and I think it definitely implied that, you know, Mal would turn to Grace a few times when she needed help with things or whatever. Like, you know, it seemed like a relatively good relationship. Better than Brianna's with Grace's anyway, I think. And yeah, I'm actually kind of curious about what Mal's relationship is with Frankie, because we kind of see, I mean, we see how close Frankie and Brianna are. The implication being that she sort of, you know, was a bit of a second mother figure to her as a child, which makes me ask, was she a second mother figure to Mal as well? And if not, then, like, why? Like, was it because Grace was there for her more? Was it because she was closer with Robert? Like, I'm not, like, making judgment calls. I'm curious of what the situation was, and we didn't really know a lot about it. So, yeah. Now for her relationship with Brianna. So, yeah, Brianna was her older sister. I don't know by how many years. I want to say 2, but I don't think I have any basis for that. I think I am literally just, that's the number that came to my head for some reason. But it was clear right from the start that, you know, they weren't the closest. Like, we see, especially, like, in later seasons, that Mal always wanted to be closer to Brianna as a child, and, you know, we sort of see at the end of season 7 they're getting closer, but for the most part they had a pretty, I think, competitive relationship. Brianna wasn't really thrilled when Mallory wanted to come work for her at Say Grace. And she definitely wasn't thrilled when Mallory got that huge, job upgrade. I can't think of the word right now. Listen, we all have moments where we can't think of the word. It's fine. Anyways. But yeah, that relationship was actually explored pretty well, and they did have some good sister moments. I will give them that. That's probably where they did the best job with Mallory. But even that, it kind of came up later, and like Mallory felt like more of a prop for Brianna in those scenes. Like, it felt like it was more about Brianna coming to terms with how she'd acted and how she'd been, and maybe that's just how I took it. Maybe it wasn't actually that way or whatever, but that's sort of how it felt to me. Okay, now for plot lines. I didn't do this with the Brianna video. I'm not sure if you noticed, but I didn't do it because that video was long enough as it was, and I kind of covered most of it just elsewhere, as much as I wanted to cover. I still don't think I did plot lines. If I did, then that was a pointless comment, but I planned not to anyway. Okay. So yeah, Mallory, apart from her relationship stuff, and that's under umbrella relationship with like family, romantic, or kids. She had her work stuff. She had the story of her, you know, going to work for Brianna, but then that cut into her Brianna story. The only part of that was her getting the promotion, and then, oh, that's what I was looking for earlier, promotion. Sorry, just hit me now. Great. Anyway, she got that promotion, and then she, you know, she tried really hard. Oh, on that topic, wasn't she supposed to be based out of, like, was it San Francisco? What was she still doing? Where she was, like, why was she still in San Diego? What? Like, were we supposed to assume that all those episodes she was just visiting? Or did they delay the move? I don't know. Never really got resolved, like, explained, as far as I know. It was a big deal, because that's why Brian didn't take it, because Barry didn't want to move. But, whatever. But yeah, there was that storyline, and other than that, though, again, like, apart from, like, all dealing with different types of relationships, again, whether it be her relationship with her kids, her divorce, her family, her worrying that, like, her trying to, like, make everything work with her family with her divorce and everything. She did have, right before her divorce and right after her divorce, again, her and Coyote had some more good moments. I want that relationship so bad, but I never got it. Okay, and anyways, so now on to some favorite Mallory moments. Oh, I hate to say this is hard. It shouldn't be hard. It really shouldn't be, but it is. So there was like I did like her moments near the end with Brianna. Just sort of helping her and being there for her. I liked that. I liked a couple of scenes with her at work. Just I liked her just sort of I liked, her standing up for herself. That was nice. Um, there were just a few scattered other scenes that were pretty good. I feel bad because I feel like I should have more for this, but I'm very, very apathetic towards Mallory for the most part. So yeah, there's my Mallory video. That was something. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon for more character videos.